Got this movie for you. It's called Cello. So it starts off with this car crash. It's horrific. We end up seeing somebody dying on the hospital bed. That's just how it starts off. We get to this lady by the name of Kim. She's coming home from work and whatnot. House all quiet. She can't find nobody. She goes up in the attic and sees her daughter Yoon sitting there, all dark and quiet. The lights come on, everybody celebrating her birthday. Her husband Jin, her sister Yoon, and her youngest daughter Mia. Now the gift they got her was a song that she did a long time ago. Some of her old music because she actually used to play the cello. Next day she gets ready for work. I think she's some type of teacher or an instructor or something like that. While she's using the bathroom, this chick named Dacia pops up. She blames her for one failing grade that ruined her life supposedly. Basically letting her know like, yeah, you're gonna pay for all this. When she grabs her arm, it leaves this mark on her arm. I'm like, the fuck? She wasn't even bleeding or nothing. It was just 3 marks on her arm. Then Kim gets up out of there. She takes a bunch of pills before she starts driving on the road again. But before she leaves, she's got a package for her. Somebody leaves her this tape. So while she's driving, she plays the tape. We realize it's past songs she used to play like 7 years ago. Then she gets this text message on her phone saying it's your fault, you should have been me. So what does that mean? So at this point, we're thinking Dacia is the one that's sending these texts. I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck she even get her number? Next thing we know, while she's playing the music, she starts losing control of her arms and swerves off the road, but luckily she's able to get herself home. Before getting home, she sees this store. She ends up buying her oldest daughter Yoon a cello. Yoon's a very quiet girl. All she does is play the cello. She literally says nothing the entire movie. Her youngest daughter Mia, on the other hand, is always asking random questions to everybody. And we get this one scene where her sister Young locked herself in a room, Kim's sister. And she's been spazzing out in there the whole time, so we think to ourselves, why is she spazzing out? Turns out her boyfriend broke up with her, she can't handle it. Kim and Jin try to help, but bottom line is, they like, let her just figure it out, you know what I'm saying? She ain't trying to open the door for niggas or nothing. Then they get this scene where they show Young. She's all looking in the mirror, all distraught. She finally gets that phone call, but nobody responds and then hangs up. Then she starts looking at her picture through the mirror, picture of her and her boyfriend. All of a sudden, this chick pops up out of nowhere through the mirror, looks at Young in the window, the force pushes her out through the freaking window. Yoon wakes up out of her sleep and looks out the window and sees Young hanging, done deal daddy shit. The force must have pushed her out the window. Her neck must have got wrapped around in a curtain or something. And she's basically hanging outside. It's crazy. I forgot to mention in between that time, they all of a sudden got themselves a maid. Well, Jim made it happen because he gotta work, and Kim's not usually in the house like that. But he thought the girls needed a maid, so there you go. But she don't say a whole lot, nothing either. And the maid and Yoon end up having a bond. So the parents think Yoon is psychologically damaged, but trust me, she was acting like this way before Young got done deal deaded. Later on, Mia's bothering her sister, but she wants to play the cello. Yoon's not letting her do none of that. So Mia tries to grab it, and Yoon ends up biting her arm. It's like, what the fuck? So Mia gets the message, and then she just dips off. Kim ends up going back to work, but when she checks her locker, she sees this box. The box contains the insides of a dead bird with maggots floating around in it. I'm like, what the fuck? Kim already knew it was Darcia behind this shit. She goes to the auditorium where Darcia is at and slaps the fire out of her. Straight Will Smith ass. You know, Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, you know. Anyway. And of course, after that, she took her to the police. Now, at the police station is Kim, Darcia, and her mother. Her mother's there basically trying to get him out of this situation. She tells the police about the threatening text messages. The officer pulls Kim to the side for a second. She says, these text messages that you're talking about, they're coming from Jin's phone. So wait, Jin's sending threatening messages? What the fuck would he do that for? The thing is, when the officer's reading it, it only shows the number. It doesn't show the messages, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't show that he's sending threatening anything. Jin and Kim get to talking, and Jin's kind of concerned about her condition. He goes looking through stuff in the room and looks through this yearbook, and this chick's face has been cut out of one of the pictures. So we're like, huh, who was this person? So as the maid's doing her work, she finds the tape that was in Kim's car and gives it to Yoon so she can start playing notes or songs that her mom used to play. Kim comes in real pissed off, like, where'd you get this tape? And she destroys the tape right in front of her. So Jin's looking at Kim like, okay, what's the deal? So we find out who that girl is, the picture that is cut out the yearbook, some chick named Tay. Now Tay used to be Kim's best friend. They used to do a lot of things together, and they both used to play the cello together. Now she explains to her husband this. Her best friend was always jealous of her because she was better at her at everything, so she would always get the recognition. So one night they were driving in a car, and Tay tried to swerve off the road, tried to kill both her and Kim. They tried to run into this truck, but we found out Tay was the only one that died that day. But I didn't understand why Kim was feeling so guilty if Tay was the one driving. And apparently that's how she got the mark on her arm. So Darcia didn't give her that mark. She had that for years. So later on, Kim goes to this concert that she was supposed to go to, or she was invited to by the PTA or something like that. When she gets there, she starts having flashbacks to Tay. It's crazy. Jin's at work the whole time. Then we had the confrontation with Mia and Yoon again. Mia keeps messing with the cello case. Then we look back, all of a sudden the cello is not in Yoon's hands anymore. We're like, what the fuck is going on? She opens the cello case again and the cello's sitting in there. Next thing you know, we see all this black smoke and mayhem. Then we see the scene where Maya's hanging off the balcony. We're like, what the heck? Yoon is walking towards the edge of the balcony, pulls Mia's fingers off and ends up dropping her little sister. That is shit. What the fuck? After a while, Kim comes back home, sees the devastation. She's like, what the heck just took place? No, actually, she had a hunch when she was coming home. She actually saw her daughter fall into her death. She couldn't get there in time. It was crazy. It starts raining. Then what she decides to do is put her daughter in a box in the basement of the house. What? Jin comes home from a hard day at work, asking where his daughter is. And she comes up with some shit like, yeah, she had to go to camp. Kim tries to convince him, but Jin ain't fooled by that bullshit. So apparently a while ago he had got Mia a baby phone, and he starts calling it, but he can actually hear it inside the house. He really hears it when he gets to the basement door, which apparently is locked. So he breaks down the door to the basement, opens this box, and finds his daughter Mia. All of a sudden Kim shows up right behind him. So because Kim ain't saying shit, Jin is thinking to himself, she's the one that killed her dead daughter. He's like, why would you kill our daughter? He gets to the point he's about to start choking her. He pushes her off and then his back hits the wall. What we don't realize, a freaking nail went through his head in the process. Jin's pulled off the wall, he's done deal daddy shit. I just don't get why she would lie about the whole thing. She's trying to protect her daughter. When you saw her kill your youngest daughter, Mia, it's like, the fuck? And the maid all of a sudden is sitting at the top of the steps. But then she looks again, she starts saying Tay. Then we get a flashback to what really happened that day. Come to find out back then, Tay was the one getting all the accolades, and Kim was the one always jealous of Tay. Kim was also the one driving that day. She was the one trying to swerve both of them off the road and kill each other. The thing was, they did not hit an 18-wheeler that completely missed it and hit a guardrail. The thing was, when Kim came to, she was looking for Tay, and with the door open, Tay was hanging out the side of the car. She had the opportunity to save her life, but because she was so jealous of her, she didn't put a whole lot of effort into pulling her back up, and then she ended up falling to her death, but not before scratching up her arm. So that's really where the mark on her arm came from. So no wonder she felt so guilty about the Tay story. Well, anyway, while she's back in the house, she ends up getting a knife and stabbing the shit out of Tay. Who obviously wasn't Tay, it was the maid. She got done deal daddy shit. And the only people still alive are Kim and Yoon, her oldest daughter. Yoon is still in her room playing the cello. So Kim just spazzes the fuck out with a golf club, smashes the cello, tosses it out the room. But wait a minute. She starts looking around the room again because she's looking for Yoon. She pulls the curtain back on the bed. It's the cello. So wait a minute. The person she was really smashing was Yoon the whole time? She thought it was the cello? What? No, the fuck? Yoon's done deal that is shit and Kim is the only one left. And then she picks up a piece of glass from a painting that she smashed already. As she's holding Yoon in one arm, she ends up slashing herself with the other. Then we get back to the scene of the car accident that happened at the beginning of the movie. Now we know that was actually Kim driving herself to the hospital. And that's when she was in a car crash and we thought she was pretty much done deal daddy shit right out the back. The next day we wake up, we find out she's just fine. She's just sitting in his wheelchair. And come to find out everybody else is still alive. So apparently everything that's going on, this whole scenario was in her head. Because apparently she has some type of distress syndrome where she sees like 2 different wavelengths. I guess it goes beyond bipolar disorder. But she created this whole scenario in her head. It was crazy. Then at the hospital, she gets a visit from Marie, Yoon, Jin, and her sister Kooyoung. They all still alive. Everything's happy-dappy. Eventually, she finally gets out the hospital and they let her drive home. Yeah, Jin should have been there to get her home. It's like, fuck out of here with that. Nevertheless, she gets home. Then all of a sudden, she gets a text message again. It was you. It should have been me. What the heck is this? I thought she was cured of this shit. Then she goes in the house. Nobody's in there. It's all dark again. Then everybody pops up singing happy birthday. So it feels like deja vu, right? How the movie ends is her sister gets her a present. It's the record that had all of her old songs on it. She starts reflecting again, but this time she reads the back of it. It says, it's only the beginning. Then the movie goes off with Kim looking like this, as Tay's hands are reaching her throat like, what the hell is going on here? Honestly, I can say this was a wild movie. Kind of a cop-out with the whole bipolar disorder thing, but still. The graphic scenes are worth it, though. I know some people have been saying cello, it's actually cello. Now that you heard all that, it makes a lot of sense why it's called that. The joint was lit, one of those Tartan Asian movies. I'd actually got this one from Big Lots. They had a bunch of these type of movies for like $3. I was like, bet. Some of them are good, some of them are eh. This one I like though.